And I give this idea to a lot of people. Most people don't take me up on what I'm about to tell you, because why don't people lift weights? Because they're freaking heavy. What I'm about to tell you is not easy. It might take a minimum of a couple days to a full week. There might be 30 hours that it might take to do this. But I highly recommend that you look into.
Let me ask you a question. Did you come here to listen to money or make it? This is L.A. Williams, the blind master. And Sean V. Bradley and I came here for one reason and one reason only. That's to fill your pockets with money. Now how we gonna do it? By giving you the secrets, techniques, and strategies for you to stop losing and start winning at this game called Automotive Professional Sales.
Hey everybody, this is Sean V. Bradley, president of Dealer Synergy, and the creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman Community, the #1 Facebook group in the world for the automotive industry, the #1 podcast in the world for the automotive industry. And I've got a superstar guest today. She is a client. She is a friend. She is a beast. This is Tracy Elkins of Timber Ford. So Tracy, what I want you to do is let's get cracking. Tell us about your experience. How long have you been in the automotive industry?
Well, I've been in the automotive industry for about a month now. It's not very long.
Long time, a whole entire month.
Yeah.
Then why the hell am I interviewing you? Folks, before you ask yourself that silly question, I'm going to tell you why. Because you ever watched that movie with Liam Neeson, Taken? You know, where he's like, I got a special set of unique skills. Well, my girl Tracy here has a very, very unique set of skills, a very unique background that I just need everybody to hear in our community. So Tracy, if you will, can you kind of share with everybody what was your previous life before you came over to the dark side of car sales?
Well, I've done a lot of things in my life. Originally, I went to school for childcare and I owned a daycare center for 4 years when I was 20 years old.
Perfect for car sales.
Yes. Yep. Because if you can manage 10 3-year-olds, you can manage all types of people. So after that, I had kids, did all of that stuff. I moved to a new community about 10 years ago. And when I did that, I had 3 kids in tow and started over and kind of was challenged and no, can't make it on your own, can't do it. And I'm determined and decided I could. So I actually reached out to Jack Link of Jack Link's Beef Jerky and started a community center in the small town that I live in, Minot, Wisconsin. And so I started a community center and I became very proactive in the community. I got very involved. I started running a bunch of different events. I became the president of the Chamber of Commerce. I became the president of the local library, and I became the community ed director for the school district. And I kind of created this big network of people that I worked with and knew and organized concerts and parades and events of all types. And then after that, I did events for a conference center and got into real estate. So I've done real estate. I've done just a variety of different sales. I was the director of sales and events for the large community center. So I love working with people.
Holy crap. That's a lot of stuff. So What I'm really intrigued about is the fact that it's a lot to unpack, but what I heard is that you were the president of the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
That's crazy. For the people that don't know, that are living under the rock like SpongeBob, can you explain what the Chamber of Commerce is? Please explain that to people.
Absolutely. So the Chamber is an organization in most communities that help to support businesses, local businesses, and tourism. So we managed the website for the community. We worked with all of the different business owners to beautify the town, to do different things, to create advocacy for those businesses. So I really got involved with all of them. And when I became the president of the chamber, we actually doubled our membership. So we got really proactive.
How many businesses for your Chamber of Commerce that you were the president of, how many businesses, local communities were part of it at the end?
About 120.
Okay, so you're telling me that you were the head of 120 local businesses in your area.
Well, I mean, it was a committee, but yeah, I helped organize.
But you were the head of this organization, right?
Yes.
Okay, the reason why I'm saying that is that a lot of people have heard Chamber of Commerce before, but most salespeople in the automotive industry are not part of the Chamber of Commerce. The dealerships might or might not be part of the Chamber of Commerce, but they don't really have representation. So let's just start there. Now that you're in this role, your mind and your wheels must be spinning and spinning and spinning with ideas. How can a sales professional like yourself at a Ford dealership benefit and leverage a relationship or participation with the Chamber of Commerce? Give us some ideas.
Well, there's a lot of different things. I mean, our chamber ran the town festivals. So we did, we have different, the parades and the bands and all of that kind of stuff. And so there's booths you can set up. Being active in all of those community events is really important. And just having a presence for even, after 5 events where you're meeting other business owners. Because really, especially in a smaller community like I'm from, we all want to support each other's businesses. We want to help and network and promote. And, when someone says, hey, I'm looking for a new car, then somebody that's working at the local bank might say, hey, I know Tracy because she's over here at Timber Ford, and you build that relationship. It's all about creating a network.
So wait a minute, let's unpack that right there. So let's go to the first thing is the events. Because you were part of the Chamber of Commerce, they are the ones that do a lot of the festivals, parades, holidays, like most or all of the major events. So how a salesperson or an automotive professional or a dealership or dealer group can leverage that is just by being part of it and being active in the Chamber of Commerce. You could obviously have the earliest knowledge of what's happening. So you could sponsor, you can brand, you could participate, you could shake hands, kiss babies, and do that literally and metaphorically. So that's the first thing I heard you say, which is I think it's an awesome idea. The second thing is that if you're in a network with your previous Chamber of Commerce as an example, and there's 120 businesses, whether these are salons, the hair salons, nails, their restaurants, their pizzerias, their construction, their house cleaning, their car dealerships, it's the local ecosystem. And so if I was a salesperson, a manager and owner of a car dealership, I would make it my mission to go to these events, to specifically meet face-to-face all of the owners and managers of every single business that's part of the Chamber of Commerce, and then just get to know them and let them get to know me, and then work it into my conversation where I'm saying, hey, man, I would love to be able to personally utilize your services for myself, my family. But on top of that, I would love to be able to recommend your services, your company, your product to, not only my friends and family, but also to my clients. I could have my dealership help out. And hey, by the way, you think that you could show a little love to me too? Do you think that you can, recommend, me or my organization if anybody needs to buy, sell, trade, or service an automobile? Is that what I'm hearing from you, Tracy?
Absolutely. And another thing to keep in mind is it's not always just local businesses that are a part of the chambers.
I did not know that.
So I am involved in chambers that are an hour away from here. The larger cities, things like that. So it's getting your name out there. You don't have to be from that community to be a member of the chamber. And a lot of people who do sales do join the chambers from an hour, 2-hour radius away. I mean, I've been a part of the chamber in the cities for the previous business that I had.
Again, I'm not great at geography that's other than the tri-state area in New York City, because I'm not from, there. So you are in what town in Wisconsin?
Minot, town of 427 people.
Okay. And then where's the dealership located?
Hayward.
Hayward. Okay. And then, so you would join which Chamber of Commerce? The Hayward Chamber of Commerce. What's the bigger Chamber of Commerce? What's the closest bigger city?
Duluth. A little over an hour and 15 minutes
Duluth
away.
is one, and give me another one.
Eau Claire. The Eau Claire Chamber. Eau Claire, which is
Okay,
about an hour and a half to 2 hours away. Rice Lake. I mean, all of them really. It doesn't cost
name them. Be specific. I want
Eau Claire, Menominee, even the Twin Cities, St. Paul and Minneapolis, Duluth. There's just a variety of them. Even the small town ones, Spooner, Minot, Cable. All of those chambers have different ways that they're interacting with their communities.
And wait a minute, I want to build on that. I want to give field intelligence just to let you know the average used car search on Auto Trader, Cars.com, Car Gurus, Edmunds.com, Kelly Blue. The average used car search is between 75 and 100 miles. Okay, and think about it. When cars are as expensive as they are, when there's an inventory shortage, and they're so just. It's not like it was back in the day. I mean, inventory is still important. People are absolutely willing not only to research and shop and look from an hour, 2 hours away on a used car, they are also absolutely unequivocally willing to buy. I have people all the time that will fly in to purchase a vehicle and drive it home, or they could do the whole entire transaction over the internet and phone, overnight the paperwork, and then just, ship the vehicle to anywhere in the country. So again, this is not like absurd or silly. This is absolutely very strategic. Now, if I'm understanding, there's two levels to the Chamber of Commerce. Not only, and when I say levels, let me elaborate. Not only is there the physical aspect where you could go to actual meetings or get-togethers or gatherings or functions, a lot of them have groups, whether they're Facebook groups or their LinkedIn groups or their Zoom meetings and things like that. So you could do this virtually, or you could do this physically, or the best is doing both worlds, physically and virtually. So I don't want people to think, oh shit, I got to drive an hour here, there, everywhere. Well, you should personally, but if you couldn't or you don't want to, you don't have to. You could still do these virtually. Can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. So with a lot of chambers, they have websites. So they'll even list their members on their website. So you can go through there and look for specific businesses. You can look for different things and they'll have a link. So, and they also send out like newsletters, monthly, weekly emails out to all of their members. And so if I have an event coming up or I have a big sale going on, I'm going to share that with the chamber and ask that they send that out to all of their members. So if I'm involved in all of these different chambers and then they're sending out the big sale we've got coming up in a couple of weeks, it's getting in front of a lot more people.
Do you think that other businesses are willing to, this is a dumb question, but I'm setting you up for the slam dunk, right? Do you think other businesses are willing to talk to a car salesperson or a car manager and help them with referrals? Do you think it's realistic, or is it a waste of time?
I do. I just actually went and talked to a friend of mine who manages a bar and restaurant and asked if I'd made coasters, if he'd be willing to put my coasters up. So I was coming up with a clever little way to come up with some coasters that are fun and unique with my name and number on them. So I've got a few
love that.
will do that.
So you went to the Chamber of Commerce. One of the members was at a bar restaurant, and you said, "Hey, I would like to provide you with free coasters. Would you be willing to do that?" And what was his response?
Of course, I'm happy to.
Especially if it's free. So it's a win-win. So it's free to them, so they could cut their cost on coasters, one. And second, now he's networking with you. And so you're going to obviously, especially if you're investing time and money into his establishment, you're going to be able to, refer people, recommend, and even attend yourself. So again, this is a win-win. I love that. Can you give?
Well, here's the best part.
What's the best part?
I'm trying to get dad jokes on them. So the front will be a fun little joke, and the back is the pun with my name and contact and a little QR code.
All right, I have to ask. Tell us one dad joke.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Cargo.
Cargo who?
Cargo beep beep. Otherwise, I got a few of them, but.
Fair enough. I'm going to give you one. Okay. This is a New York one. All right. Where do you find a chicken with no legs?
I don't know.
Right where you left him. He's got no freaking legs. Where's he going?
Nice. But it's something that keeps people entertained,
especially if you're drinking and stuff. That might be hilarious.
Yeah. It gets people rolling,
I love it. Okay. So the Chamber of Commerce, what other unique ways can you, I'm going to redirect. You also mentioned real estate. So you're a real estate agent as well, correct?
I am. I have a license, although I need to renew it. But I'm not acting as a real estate agent at the moment, but I have it.
Okay. But you were a licensed and trained real estate agent. True or false?
Yes, that is true.
Okay. Asked and answered, counselors. There we go. Yeah. So here's my point. The thing that I think that is really a problem in our industry is that most salespeople don't have your background, they don't have your work ethic, and they don't have your experience. So they are not built like you, girl. What happens is they expect to live off of the umbilical cord of the dealership. They want to be spoon-fed ups, opportunities and prospects, where I think it's bad, because in our industry, you can make as much money as you can earn. But the key phrase I keep hammering as much as possible is you have to earn that shit. Okay, this is not government cheese. This isn't like, socialism or Obamacare. This is literally an opportunity to be an entrepreneur. But if you don't build the business, your business within the dealership business, it's not going to go anywhere. So what I like about real estate agents, they know as soon as they get their license, they're going to get very little, if anything, from Century 21 or from Weichert or from whatever real estate house that you belong to. Real estate agents know that they have to go market, advertise, brand, prospect, network, and go make some shit happen. Yep. My question is, why do you think that is not the culture or the ideology for car people? Why not?
Well, I'm pretty inexperienced in this world, but with real estate, you're going to be driving all over the place. You've got to get out there and get in front of people. That's the number one purchase people buy, but cars is the second. So I think I kind of got the niche on the market doing both. But you sit and you just think you have a desk, I guess. I'm learning how to get myself out there, but I don't know. I'd be interested in your opinion on that one.
Well, I think it's because the lack of exposure. I think that you're ingrained through training when you're going through, real estate training, that you have to go out there, you have to drive around, you have to, meet people, shake hands, kiss babies, network, try to solve people's problems and things like that. Where in the car world, the manufacturer gives you product knowledge training. The dealership might or might not provide road to the sales training, but most people don't provide how to build your brand within the dealership, the brand training. They don't provide prospecting training, referral generation training. They don't provide social media training. They don't provide digital marketing training. They don't provide PR or public relations training. They don't provide networking training. They don't provide entrepreneurship. They don't provide financial training, how to, create a marketing budget and marketing expense. They don't teach any of that stuff. And this is why I had you on our show, because you're not some random person. You're one of our clients. You are a Dealer Synergy and Bradley and the Man client. And, I'm pretty good friends with your dealer. You know what I mean? So again, most dealers don't have what your dealership is providing you, like Bradley and the Man training, like our whole video on demand training, tracking, testing, certification platform. Most dealers don't have that. Most dealers have the bare little. So I would say with your background, though, you are equipped with your mindset, your experience, and your unique set of skills from Taken, right? To be able to do more and achieve way more than the average salesperson. So let's go into a couple other things. All right. I love everything I've said before. Give me some other ideas. What other things are you looking to do to brand, prospect, or generate referrals? We talked about the Chamber of Commerce. We talked about one idea of coasters. Give me a couple of ideas. And I promise I'm going to give you some cool stuff too. All right.
Well, I actually, from talking to you previously, I took your idea and I sent it today. You gave me the idea of contacting the school because, as I said, I used to be the community ed director for the school and I worked with them. So I created 10 reasons to buy from me, being that I'm a community volunteer and have children that go to the school. I even put on there, I'm new to the car business. It was one of the reasons. And that we offer a $500 rebate for educators, and asked him if he would be willing to send that out to all of the staff. So I thought that was a great idea. So I put that out there. I'm also planning, when the weather finally stops raining, to do some videos and put them on my social media, kind of showing off the Broncos and some of the newer vehicles that are in high demand. But I'm always looking for new ways online, trying to research different things I can do. I spent most of my morning emailing and contacting past clients that are orphaned owners, just trying to be proactive as possible.
I love that. So let's reverse engineer some of the things you just said. First of all, thank you for giving me the kudos on, and I'm so proud of you. You know how many times I train people like virtually in person, on stage, and I have all these brilliant ideas, and everybody's like, oh my God, this is great. They don't do shit. You're brand new. We had one coaching session, and then you upped and you ran with it. I'm proud of you. Okay, so what Tracy's talking about is that she was in the education industry, and so that's her tribe. And I think that any salesperson or any professional could engage or try to engage any other vertical or any other industry. But I think that if you could start with what's authentic, what's genuine, what you know the most, I think you're going to have an unfair competitive advantage. For example, I never worked as an educator, coach, or have you in the traditional sense. So me reaching out to high schools or middle schools or elementary schools or vocational schools or university or colleges wouldn't be authentic. Might I get some prospects? No, but because of Tracy's background, her knowledge of the ecosystem, she has a better story, a better value package proposition, and a higher probability that she'll get some interest from those people. Same analogy is that if you were current or former, military, reserves, active, National Guard, law enforcement, or if your spouse or your family members or your children or what have you are, first responders, military or what have you, you could, potentially reach out to those people. My daughter, Tiana Mick, became nationally famous for her tgotyourkeys.com website. She is a Latina. She's, Hispanic. She is a female, and she's part of the LGBT community. So her tribes, plural, that she would market to is females, which you're of the female, gender, right? Mm-hmm. And that you identify with as well, right? So again, you got to realize, and I don't know if anybody ever shared this to you, Tracy, but females have over 83% buying power. Shit, my wife has 100% buying power in my house. She runs stuff. And so females not only have over 83% buying power for a automotive purchase, they also influence, over 65% of truck deals. And you sell the number one product on planet Earth for 40 automotive wise for 46 straight years, which is the Ford F-150. So, don't get it twisted. They're not just men that buy F-150s or influence F-150 sales. Females run shit. Females have that. And you know what else I find is that females some of them don't like the old school way of buying cars. They don't feel that they are heard, they're respected and appreciated, when they deal with, certain types of people, men. So again, in my opinion, you have an unfair competitive advantage if you prospected and reached out female to female. Now, you should sell cars to everybody, but am I speaking out of pocket? My wife and I have two daughters they tell me all the time that when they have female prospects, sometimes females feel more comfortable dealing with them because they're female to female. And some guys actually feel more comfortable dealing with a female because they think incorrectly, whether that that females are not as sharp or they're not as ruthless as a man. I don't give a shit why they feel that way. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that what I know as a high-level trainer and consultant is that there's some females that are going to prefer females, and there's some males that would prefer, females to sell them a car as well. So you could leverage that. Okay. My daughter, like I mentioned before, is part of the LGBT community. So she would market, advertise, brand, and just, say, hey, proudly serving the LGBT community. Now, that's not necessarily for everybody, but that was her tribe. So are you picking up what I'm dropping as far as find your tribe and, try to cater and market to your tribe of people?
Will the real best car salesman in the USA please stand up?
How does one man
getting people to believe what's possible
outsell most dealerships?
Why should I limit myself at 20 cars or 30 cars or 40 cars or 200 cars?
He's got to be one of the greatest.
You listen to a lot of the interviews that people are having about Kobe now. None of them are saying anything about basketball.
It can't just be about moving units.
I'm here to help leave the industry better than when I found it.
As a car salesman,
I am a business owner. I just own a dealership inside of a dealership.
That became so successful. How?
You got to put your heart in it. You got to put your mind in it. You got to do it right. And training is a huge part of it. This is your life. This is a career. This is not a job. You got to study the CRM tool. You got to study people in general.
Well, what about work-life balance?
I'm off Saturday and Sunday, so I don't work any weekends. I'm usually home by 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, and I've been working 4 days a week.
And still make 6 figures?
You're here to hear first. I am here to tell you that you could make $100,000 a month in this job.
Now, those results aren't typical, but why not learn from the gentleman who broke the Guinness Book of World Records by selling 1,582 units in 1 year, 209 units in 1 month, 35 units in 1 day? Ali Rita makes over $1.5 million a year selling cars. So what would happen if you followed his strategies, systems, philosophies, and best practices found on Bradley On Demand? Sign up now.
No, I agree with you. I mean, as much as you can get out there and get exposure. I mean, I personally have had some bad car buying experiences myself. I was young, I was naive. I've had the car salesman sell me a vehicle that was absolutely not what I needed or wanted and made me believe it was what I needed. And it was terrible. By the time I got home, it was wintertime and I got home and I was crying because the tires were so bad and it was just a big mistake. So I was very cautious. And now, like being in the sales industry now myself, I've learned a lot that it's not all like that anymore. I mean, here we're very honest. We have integrity. We're transparent. We're not here to take people's money. We're here to help them find the right vehicle. And
do you hear everything you just said? I would reverse engineer that as part of my sales pitch. Hey, Tracy, am a person. I purchase vehicles, and I've been at a point where I've been literally in tears because I had a sales professional take advantage of me, sell me something I didn't really want or need. I felt pressured. It was not only a horrific experience, but I wasted so much time and money. So because of that experience, I wanted to change the way that people perceive the automotive industry, one customer at a time. So I promise you, if you just give me 1% of trust, just give me the opportunity to show you what I can do for you, I will earn the other 99%. So we're on the same page, Tracy. I love it. All right, let's go back. What other ideas are you thinking about besides, the coasters, besides the educators? And then I'm going to ask this. I want to get some more ideas from you, and then I'm going to train you and I'm gonna give you some more ideas myself.
Okay. Well, so the other thing that I'm working on, I talked with a friend of mine that does marketing, thank you gifts. So I said something like, maybe we could do a first aid kit that has, my name, information on it, but something that they can keep in the car that's handy. That would be a gift they would really appreciate. We talked about doing, maybe a flashlight, things like that. There's something that's really nice that someone can actually use and remember you by, and that way you're going to up your referrals. So I'm looking into that and trying to design some different items. And I'm going to spend a little bit more money on those because those are the thank you type gifts. I'm looking into ways to just get out there. Even today, like I went to a local shop in town and bought a new sweater and ended up giving her a card when I was done. So it's just making conversation. I give out cards a lot. So, I don't know. I'm just looking into everything, trying to figure out what I can do.
All right, let me build on that. And then it's my turn. And as a trainer, I'm gonna give you some really cool other ideas to build on. So I love the thank you packages, and I call them wow packages, because to me, if you think of how much time it takes to find a prospect, or how much money it takes for a dealership to generate a prospect, or how much money it takes you, to generate a prospect, how much time it takes when you build that pipeline funnel in follow-up communications back and forth, it could take days, weeks, or months to generate opportunity. And then to your point, the automotive purchase on average is the second largest item the average American will ever purchase for your demographic, for Ford customers. And to be honest with you, some of your clients will never in their lifetime buy a home. That's the difference. More people buy cars than they buy houses, or more people could afford a car than they can afford a house, especially with this real estate, market. So my point being, the time, effort, energy, cost, et cetera, yada, 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 yada. When you finally close a sale, you want to make sure that your people know how much you truly, sincerely appreciate them. And that's by two ways. One is by the way that you act after you get the money, after you close the sale. Do you follow up with them? Do you check in on them? Do you make sure that they're okay? Do you wish them happy birthday, happy anniversary, happy graduation, happy Thanksgiving, and all the other things that are important to them? That's the emotional deposits in the emotional bank account. But then it's also putting your money where your mouth is and saying, I do appreciate it. Let me show you. I want to give you something that you cannot have received anywhere else. This is something exclusive to me. And now it might be a first aid kit. My wife also, I don't know if you know this, like there had those emergency escape tools where it cracks the glass, it cuts the seatbelt. They changed them because of the new technology in like the windshields. The old devices don't work as much. There's special devices to be able to crack through a windshield, because with all of the antennas and things like that and all the technology, it's not as easy as it would. You have to have a special device. So I've seen people do that. I've seen people have things that could actually benefit them experience-wise. Here's something else that I would recommend for you to do besides that just gift. And I give this idea, Tracy, to a lot of people. Most people don't take me up on what I'm about to tell you, because why don't people lift weights? Because they're freaking heavy. That's why most people don't lift weights. What I'm about to tell you is not easy, okay? And it's not simple. It might take a minimum of a couple days to a full week. There might be 30 hours that it might takes to do this. But I highly recommend that you look into how to get car safety seat certified. Okay, how to get car safety seat certified. It is the equivalent in our industry, like being, certified for CPR and how to use defibrillators. That shit doesn't really matter unless it matters. You know what I'm saying? Until it matters. Can you imagine, and this is a fact, that one of the leading killers, one of the leading causes of death for kids, I think it's aged 7 to 12, I think that's it, like, don't quote me on it 100%, is car accidents that have improperly installed car safety seats. So can you imagine if you sell cars to a parent or people that will have kids, toddlers in their vehicles? You know what a value package proposition that is? You know what a differentiator that is? That you could say, first and foremost, hey, I'm just going to pretend, hey, Tracy, I just want to let you know that not only selling you a car that you want on the terms you want at a great deal, that's not the only thing I do here. The fact that you have a family, that is of my utmost preeminent concern, is to make sure that you and your family are safe. And I got to tell you, I'm super proud to let you know that I am the only car sales professional in Hayward, Wisconsin, or in the Twin Cities, or an hour away from here, that is certified to inspect, install, and teach the proper placement of car safety seats. The reason why I did that, and I got to tell you, I had to pay for this myself. It took me over 30 hours to get the certification, is because as a parent, there's nothing more sacred to me than my kids. So that when I decided to commit to this industry and to serve my community, there's nothing that's more important than my clients' kids. So I wanted to say I'm proud, and boom. Now that's the value package thing. Now check what I could do with this. Now I could create a video and go on to BombBomb, right? Or something like that. And now I could create a message. Now watch this, Tracy. You are in Hayward, Wisconsin, right? I'm sharing my screen. So eventually this is going to be on the podcast, guys. I'm live streaming right now, but let's just say, watch this. If we go let's go daycare, Hayward, Wisconsin. Watch this. Bam. And within seconds, I have Starbright Daycare, Hayward Child Care and Preschool, Grandma's Place Preschool, Grandma's 2, ICAA Hayward Head Start, HACIL Hayward Center for Injured. I got this whole list. Then I go here to LinkedIn, and then I could cross-reference in here, all these things. And what I can do is, whether I'm using Google or I'm using LinkedIn or I'm using both, I could do a video message or phone call. And here's my pitch. I'm looking for the owners, the directors, or the whoever's a manager at these daycares. Here's my pitch. I'm going to role play. Hey, Tracy, my name is Sean Bradley. I'm one of the senior consultants here at Timber Ford right in town. I want to tell you, I'm not selling you anything. I just wanted to talk to you for a minute. I'm a parent, and I want to just let you know that I found out working here that one of the leading causes of death for a toddler is improper car safety seats. I am one of the few, or the only, certified car safety seat instructors in all of Hayward, Wisconsin. And I talked to my owner, and completely for free, this is something that we're doing for the communities, I'd like to set up a car safety seat check at your daycare center, almost like a DWI check, and completely free of charge. Not only would we pay for everything, I also would be more than happy to bring in, a couple dozen, pizza pies and drinks or what have you. And this is completely just giving back to the community. I want to just make sure that each and every one of your parents, the car safety seats are put in correctly so nothing happens to your clients and their children. Would you be open to me doing that? Now, girl, are you kidding me? If I have 50 daycare centers within 20 miles, I might only have 5 or 10 people that say yes, but these are daycare centers. So how many people can I meet each session that I do? I could do it on my day off. I could do it on an off day. There's nothing really popping on a Tuesday or a Wednesday at the dealership, right? And now what I could do is I'm having conversations. Now, let's just say that now switch roles. Let's say it's Sean Bradley is the person doing this and Tracy is the parent. So here I am in a position of power and authority and safety. I'm doing something that their actual car salesman didn't even do or even attempt to do. I'm trying to protect them for free. And what am I finding? I'm now writing down, either keeping it mentally, audio, or in notes, vehicles, makes, models, and I'm having conversations. Oh, Tracy, you're driving a 2015 Ford Explorer? How many miles are on? Oh my God, I would love this. Matter of fact, Tracy, I don't know if you know this, but I might be able to get you more for your car than it's worth. And that's all you want to do is you just want to get in front of a lot of people and have conversations with them, simultaneously solidifying yourself as the subject matter and safety authority for their children. Now, if these people are in the market for a vehicle, you might be able to have somebody right there that's in the market for a vehicle. And I could ask them 3 questions as I'm talking. Hey, as I'm doing this car safety check, hey, Tracy, just so I know, are you in the market for a vehicle by any chance? Oh, no, I'm not, Sean. Okay, just so I know, do you know anybody that is? Oh, not right now. Okay, well, I got to ask you a question. This vehicle is awesome. I don't know if you know, because of the pandemic and how expensive vehicles are, there's an inventory shortage. Like literally, I would love to be able to purchase this vehicle from you. And before you say anything, I could probably get you more for your vehicle than it's actually worth. Would you at least consider it? And that's all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see if that person's a prospect. I'm trying to see if that person has any referrals for me. And a last resort, I'm trying to see if I could buy that vehicle from them. Because acquisition inventory is important, because more inventory, more people I could sell to. And also, if somebody sells something, they might need to buy something and replace it. Here's what I want, Tracy, you to remember, and everybody else listening to this podcast, and this is super important. Everybody you meet today either needs to buy a car today or knows somebody that needs to buy a car today, or they know somebody or they will need to buy a car themselves in the future, or they know somebody that will need to buy a car in the future. I'm going to repeat that. Listen to what I just said. Every single person that you meet to today and talk to today, every one of them either will need to buy a car today, or they will need to buy a car in the future, or they know somebody that needs to buy a car today, or they know somebody that's going to need to buy a car in the future. Man, when I learned that decades ago, it changed my life. Think about what I said. Everybody you meet every single day, without exception, without fail, falls into those 4 categories. They will buy a car today, or they will buy a car in the future, or they know somebody that will buy a car today, or they know somebody that will buy a car in the future. So all this is a numbers game. The more people you talk to and you put them into one of those 4 buckets, AKA your pipeline, Hakuna Matata. You know what I'm saying? It's a circle of life. Tracy, what do you think about that?
I love it. I mean, I love meeting people anyway. I love making friends and building rapport and just chatting with people. So the more that I can get out there, the better. I mean, I just am looking for opportunities. So I think it's a great idea to become car seat certified. Plus, I have experience in the daycare, childcare world. So I know a lot of people in that. So it's kind of part of my tribe as well. So.
Well, listen, the cool part is you are a Dealer Synergy client. You are a Bradley On Demand client. So if you log into our www.Bradley On Demand platform that your dealer's paying for, I have an entire section on there for referral generation, for prospecting, how to work orphan owners, how to work the service drive, how to do macro selling versus micro selling. And as you see here, I'm the best-selling author of an international book called Win the Game of Googleopoly. I even have a course, I have courses, plural, on social media, digital marketing, SEO, branding, video, entrepreneurship, and everything in between. So you are equipped for everything I said to you today is in Bradley Demand. It is in Dealer Synergy. And if you guys are listening to this, ladies and gentlemen, if you are, one of our audience members, one of our people in our tribe, one of the people in our Facebook group, and you don't have access to this information, reach out to us. I have no problem doing a free strategy session, a free sales meeting, and more importantly, sign up for either Dealer Synergy, Bradley Demand, because just like Tracy's got all the skills to pay the bills like Liam Nielsen from Taken, Dealer Synergy can train your people to have a unique set of skills to help them pay them bills. Now, Tracy, I got a couple more things for you. I want to tell you you're on the right path. Orphan owners. Mm-hmm. People don't realize this. They scatter like roaches at the dealership. It makes me so mad and frustrated that it's like when you try to give an orphan owner like, this is crap. Are you crazy? NADA says the highest closing ratio, the absolute highest closing ratio is to a prior customer. It's not about your ego. It doesn't matter if they bought from you or not. They bought from the dealership. An orphan owner is the same category as a prior customer. They are a prior customer of the dealership. And if their salesperson isn't there any longer, then guess what? You have low-hanging fruit. They've purchased a vehicle there. That's a 65% closing ratio to get them to come back to you. Here's something else. Well, Sean, they just bought a car a couple months ago. Guess what? NADA also says, Tracy, that if somebody buys a car today, someone else in their household will buy another car within the next 90 days. So orphan owners are great opportunities for repeat business as well as for referral generation. Now, the other thing that I didn't hear you talk about that I really encourage you, this is something that like most people don't do because they're cray, is they don't work the service drive. Let me break this down to you. A service customer is 7 times as likely to purchase a vehicle from when they service the car from. So I say this all the time because I can't give all my shit out for free, right? So I'm gonna use some of the stuff that I talk about a lot. My daughter, when she was working at the dealership, and I'm going to Google right now. You could go to Google and you could just type in, watch this, custom donut boxes, and watch this. And look what you could do. So my daughter was T got your keys. So she would go to Krispy Kreme because, Krispy Kreme people go crazy for more than Dunkin' Donuts in our area. And there's way less Krispy Kremes than our Dunkin' Donuts. So she would go in the morning, go to Krispy Kreme, grab a couple dozen things there because the dealership didn't offer them. And then she put them in her T got your keys custom donut boxes and left them in the service drive, next to a stack of her business cards. And then, during COVID, look at this. She had the individual donut boxes. You know what I mean? So they had the individual ones. So they are, so people weren't touching everybody else's shit. You know what I'm saying? They have the group boxes for non-COVID. And even when there's a pandemic, we have the individual donut boxes. She also did this for cups. Here's what else she did, how she got that idea is for me. When I was working as a manager, my background's a little cray-cray, right? So I actually did this and I used to go to the local police departments. Yeah, I had cojones. I would turn around and walk into the police department with boxes of donuts, not being sarcastic or whatever. They love them shits though. And it was just saying, hey, we appreciate you because it doesn't cost that much money. Hey, and this is, Pine Belt's exclusive law enforcement program. And so we were able to drop them at dealers from our dealership to police department, sheriff's department, state trooper barracks in the state of New Jersey. Again, you could use personal branding like your idea you had with the coasters at the bar. Well, think of donut boxes, think of cups, and think of, things that you can leave businesses, associations, or even as close as your freaking service drive. How does that sound?
Sounds great. I love it.
All right. So what are your thoughts from here? What are the next steps? What are you looking to do at Timber Ford next?
Well, I need to start getting back involved with like community events and stuff since I've been back to doing this.
What type of events are you guys doing?
Well, there's a lot of different things that Timber Ford does for the community. They give back. Recently, they just gave a percentage of the sales for, I believe it was August, to back to school supplies for the kids at the local school. but different ways, things like that. But even just chamber
Now,
events.
do they just cut a check, or do they physically go to the schools?
There was one of those large checks that they presented.
Yeah, see, here's my thing though. I want to build on this, and you could talk to your dealer, is that I think that cutting checks is awesome, but being in the field, being in there is so much more. Go there. I mean, again, a check is great, but I would have turned around and went to shopping. You know what I mean? I would have filled out backpacks, okay, with all the supplies and brought, gave them a check too, but you said it was a large check. Give them a almost super large check, cut a little bit out, and then actually have physical things to drop there. You know what I mean? Physically hand them out. Just like, some dealerships hand out turkeys, hand out book bags with supplies and things like that for two reasons. One, it's one thing to just cut a check, but but when you're physically there handing out the backpacks, the supplies, the this, that, when you are meeting the kids, when you're meeting the teachers, you're more than just the business entity. You are a real person. You're like the mayor, the ambassador, and the liaison between both organizations. So I would just encourage you not just to cut the check, but absolutely participate in it, whether it's church, if you believe in that, the school stuff, the sporting stuff. I'll give you an example. Both my sons, my two daughters are adults. One's working for our company and one's working at a dealership right now, right? But the two boys, I have a 10-year-old that's hardcore football. This is his third year on the tackle football team. He's 10 years old. He's on the 110-pound tackle football team. They practice 3 to 4 hours a day, 3 days a week. Plus they have a game, and he's on varsity and JV. It's insane the amount of time. So not only have we purchased like a huge banner, right? And I was promoting one of my other companies, Gracie on Demand, with Daniel Gracie in the UFC and things like that. But if I was selling cars, I would have that banner there. But instead of just having the banner there and hoping people call me, I would go there. You know what I mean? And here's another tip, though, and for our listeners, is that people don't do stuff with their kids or their families because they're working selling cars. That's such an asinine way to think of this. Do both. You could kill two birds with one stone. You know what I mean? But it's got to work. You can't just say, hey, boss, I'm going to the game because I'm on a network and never sell a car and never get leads and never do anything. But man, I would try to go to every single practice, because when I'm there, I'm not just doing that. What I am doing is I am specifically doing what? I'm looking to make connections with the parents, the coaches, and talk about automotive stuff, either buying, selling, trading, or helping them finance their stuff. Same thing with my other son is wrestling and jujitsu. He wants to be a professional fighter in the UFC. All right. And so, he trains 6 days a week. He trains in 2 different jiu-jitsu schools, one in New Jersey, one in Philadelphia. He trains twice a week in wrestling, and he also has twice a week a personal trainer, for weights and conditioning. So weights, conditioning, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, that's a lot of shit. So I'm constantly all over the place. I could be talking to coaches and other parents from wrestling, from jiu-jitsu, from the conditioning, from the gym. Again, it's not just cutting the check, it's being part of the conversation. I just said it to you. Are you in the market for a vehicle? No. Who do you know what's in the market vehicle? Nobody. Okay. You think about ever trading that vehicle in or selling that vehicle? I could get you possibly more for the vehicle than it's worth. It's having those at-bats. The more at-bats you have, the more times you could swing. The more times you could swing, the more opportunities you have to crack home runs. Tracy, did you get value from me today?
Absolutely. It was great.
All right. Is there anything you want to say before we close out the session right now?
Well, I'm excited to talk to you in about 6 months from now when I'm hitting records. Well,
you're going to talk to me next week or the week after, you're my client. But as far as checking in with you after all the new stuff that you're putting in place goes, 100%. And for my audience here, I hope that you got a lot of value from all of these ways to create secondary sales channels, sales opportunities that are unconventional. Instead of just waiting for the magic up bus, instead of just taking walk-ins, showroom, lot, phone ups, internet ups, there's a myriad of different ways that you have to prospect, generate leads and referrals. So I hope that this helps you. And I hope that you can, sell more cars more often and more profitably. If you ever need any help, call me or text me on my cell phone at 267-319-6776. And yes, that is my real cell phone. or, find me on the internet or at dealersynergy.com or Bradley the Man. Tracy, thank you very much. I'm out.
Thanks, Sean.
Right,
Bye.
So there you have it, the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. This podcast comes to you every week from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you have a question about the show or would like the chance to become a guest, feel free to contact us directly at 856-546-2440 or email us at millionairecarsalesman@gmail.com. This program is a presentation of Synergy Records, produced by Tiana Mick and L.A. Williams. Production and engineering by L.A. Williams. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast is hosted every week by L.A. Williams and the Millionaire Car Salesman himself, Sean V. Bradley. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast can be found everywhere, so please don't forget to review, subscribe to, and share the show. Thanks for listening to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, and remember, where I'm from, money provides options. If you enjoyed this podcast, then make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave us a review. Let some other folks know about it. Oh, and don't forget to join the Millionaire Car Salesman group on Facebook. We'll see you there.